So if you're thinking about finding a marriage counselor and starting marriage counseling, just want to say you're so courageous. It takes so much courage to walk into a counselor's office, but it's important to find someone who's a good fit. And we want to help you really discover, how can I find a good licensed marriage counselor?
So when you work with couples as a marriage therapist, so this
Mhm.
is what you do full time, what are some of the big objections that you hear?
Mhm.
So people maybe are thinking about getting help, but they
Mhm.
don't. Why?
Mhm. Number one is finances. Oftentimes, insurance companies don't pay for marriage counseling,
Yeah.
and marriage counseling is expensive. And so sometimes couples are like, we can't afford this. There are insurance companies that will pay, some do, but most don't.
Yeah.
So that's a big hurdle.
Yeah. That should be a battle we're fighting at the legislation level, is to
Totally.
make that a part of what gets paid for. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah.
But then also, people often don't know who to go to.
Yeah.
And they maybe tried going to someone and it wasn't a good
Yeah.
fit. And then they're like, marriage counseling isn't for us,
Yeah.
versus really looking for someone who is a good fit.
Yeah.
As well as sometimes people misunderstand what marriage counseling is. They think we're going in because we're heading towards separation or divorce,
Mm.
versus we're going in to build a stronger relationship. And I always say to experience what you're both wanting, that we're moving towards those goals.
Yeah. I know I've heard from a lot of guys especially that there's almost this fear of it's acknowledging that we're failing.
Hmm.
So if we go, it's just now we're
Mhm.
telling the world, everybody, our friend, that we're not making it. There's something wrong with us,
Mhm.
and it's almost like that fear can keep them
Mhm.
from really reaching out. Or I think almost like on the other side of that is a fear of, well, what needs to come out? Like, I have no idea how deep this issue might
Mhm.
go, or what if my spouse is hiding something that's going to come out and that's going to be so overwhelming? It's going to make things worse,
Yeah, fear of the
not better.
unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think oftentimes couples don't know how to access a marriage counselor. Where do I find
Yeah.
one? And so those are all valid concerns, but I just want to encourage anyone that's going, I think we need counseling, to fight for it and to pursue it, because it takes courage to do that. But that is where the possibility of change can happen.
You can always call Focus on the Family, 800, the letter A, family. So 800 A family, because we have an extensive referral network of counselors that we've screened.
Mhm.
They had to fill out a very comprehensive application process.
Yes.
So, those counselors that we're recommending have gone through that level of scrutiny.
Mhm.
Okay, so how does someone begin? So let's say they call Focus, or they,
Mhm.
look up online and find some names of
Yes.
counselors in their area. What should they be looking for?
You're wanting to look for credentials
Okay.
to make sure that the individual has been through training and that they have a license in your state. And a license would be something like an LPC, a licensed professional counselor, a marriage and family therapist, a licensed psychologist. And so look for those credentials. There are so many people out there that are marriage coaches and they've had minimal training and maybe not a lot of experience. And so it's making sure that the individual has a license. And I would also look at, how long have they been licensed? Are they brand new into the counseling field? So explore their background, as well as, if you're faith-based, make sure that they come from a faith perspective, and you can let them know that you want faith-based counseling. You
Yeah.
want that to be a part of the experience.
Yeah. You talked about like a marriage coaching that's become very popular.
Mhm.
Kind of when would it be appropriate to go to a coach, a
Mhm.
mentor,
Mhm.
maybe a pastor, somebody at church,
Mhm.
versus, a licensed professional
Mhm.
counselor?
I would say coaching, how I differentiate coaching versus counseling. Coaching is, you have a goal and the coach can help you move forward in that. Counseling is, you're looking back at family of origin stuff, you're looking at the history of the relationship and how do we move forward.
Yeah.
So
Trauma, just
yes,
things that have
what's
happened.
impacting the
Yeah.
marriage, and it's a little bit deeper and going more in depth.
Yeah, especially around mental health issues
Mhm.
that a trained professional a trained, licensed professional counselor is going to understand mental health issues.
Mhm.
I mean, just what you're doing, saying they're going to understand the whole entire picture
Right.
and be able to put those puzzle pieces together. Versus, like how you said that, like for coaching, it could be that, hey, we're not great at communicating.
Mhm.
Let's go to a coach and really learn and dig into how do we just the art of communicating, talking to each other.
Mhm.
How do we do that better? Would be a great
Mhm.
place to do that. But yeah,
Mhm.
when we need more, we're in a crisis.
Mhm.
Something that has happened and we're not sure if we're going to make it. This is when
Mhm.
we need to be with a licensed
Yes,
professional
and
Christian counselor.
specifically marriage intensives.
Yeah.
We have Hope Restored here at Focus on the Family, and Hope Restored is the most amazing intensive program in the country because our therapists are specifically trained, licensed counselors. They're trained in marriages in crisis. That's all they do, and they are licensed counselors.
Yeah.
Many, many intensive programs are run either through the church and they're biblically based, which is important, but you also need the clinical component
Yeah.
in combination.
Yeah.
And I don't want to minimize
Mm.
God's ability to heal, but God's also given us these specific modalities for marriage counseling and for healing. So look for both. Oftentimes it'll be a coach. Someone says, I'll coach you. And when you're in crisis, if it were me, I would want a licensed professional counselor or a licensed psychologist to walk with me, someone who has experience specifically with couples in crisis.
Yeah. So usually let's say there's that first phone call. So someone's investigating.
Hmm.
Let's say they've found your name.
Hmm.
Now they've contacted you. What are you looking for as a counselor on that sort of initial call to see if this is a good fit
Hmm.
for you?
I always ask, okay, why are you seeking counseling?
Okay. So to be aware of what is it that you're trying to
Yes.
accomplish?
Be aware when you're calling a counselor, be aware of what are our goals? Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
And making sure that both are invested, both are willing to come in. One might be more excited or open to it, and the other is willing.
Yeah.
It just takes two willing individuals to walk into an office.
Yeah.
And that's not easy.
Well, talk about that for a second because that maybe that's part of the myth or a misnomer about
Hmm.
counseling is that both the husband and the wife have to be equally invested,
Hmm.
equally as excited, equally ready to do this.
Hmm.
Wouldn't you say that usually there's clearly
Yeah.
probably going to be someone who's really pushing for
Uh-huh.
this, wanting to do this. The other, it's not that they're against it, but maybe they're just not there.
Right.
Can they still benefit?
Yes, absolutely. They at least need to be open
Right.
to it.
Right.
And if one is not open to it, I would encourage the individual, whichever spouse, to go ahead and pursue individual counseling to start growing and
Yeah.
influencing the marital system.
Yeah. Well, like through the marriage intensive program, Hope Restored, we've learned to ask the miracle question.
Hmm.
So if God was to do a miracle in your marriage, would you be open to receiving that?
Hmm.
Even when they're like, that's impossible. This would take too big of a miracle. Fine. If all that was true,
Hmm.
miracle the size of the parting of the Red Sea, would you be open to receiving that?
Hmm.
And we developed that really around understanding at least sliver of an open heart versus
Hmm.
a hardened heart.
Totally.
So if I'm saying nope, I'm not open to receiving
Hmm.
God's miracle,
Hmm.
to us that was evidence that we'd love to help you, but I mean, it sounds like your heart is so hardened
Hmm.
that we probably can't be of help.
Right.
And so that, to your point, at least if there's a sliver of
Hmm.
openness, even if
Hmm.
you're like, I don't think this will help,
Yeah.
too much has gone on, we get that.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what's been so fun over the years. We've seen so many couples who felt
Right.
hopeless,
Totally.
really to watch how God just, you know, how He heals
Yes.
and redeems what
Hmm.
we've gone through within our
Right.
marriage, and they're stronger now
Yes.
than ever before.
Hmm.
So you're saying, so for you, you're trying to understand what is it that you want out of counseling. So
Hmm.
if I'm seeking counseling, be clear, what is
Hmm.
it that I'm hoping to gain out of that?
Yeah. So if you're seeking counseling, asking the potential counselor, what is their training? How many years have they been in practice? What is their credentialing? Do they have special experiences
Yeah.
or
If you're
certifications.
looking for a faith-based
Yes,
Christian counselor, you
faith-based.
can ask that.
I would also say even just getting on a Zoom call, or most counselors offer a free 15-minute consultation
Yeah.
just to assess like the fit,
Yeah.
because not every counselor is going to be your cup of tea.
Yeah.
And I know that every client isn't going to be my cup of tea. So it's really evaluating, is this a good fit? Because so much of the healing comes through the connection.
Yeah.
And so it's making sure that it's a good fit. And you might go to 3 sessions and you're like, I just don't see that this is that we're connecting.
Yeah. That's
And
okay.
I tell people continuously, if it is not a good fit, the counselor will not be offended. They want you to experience what you're wanting.
Yeah.
And if they can help facilitate that, that's our goal. We want to see people connect in
Yeah.
their marriage.
So we talked earlier about kind of that fear of, well, we've tried this before. We've done
Mhm,
this multiple times, gone to multiple counselors. It doesn't work. Nothing's going to
mhm.
work. I mean, how do you encourage someone to be courageous, to keep trying?
Mhm. It's worth trying. It's again remembering, what do we want? What's our goal? Where are we going? What do we foresee we want in the future of our marriage, and fight for that.
Yeah.
The best way to fight for it is together, but it just takes one of you to say, "No, I want to go to marriage counseling," and it's worth continuing to try to find someone that's a good fit. I would also ask people at church, pastors, other friends who have
Yeah.
gone to marriage counseling, who do you recommend? Who have you heard is a good marriage counselor? Who did you have a good experience with? Because that's helpful to get a word of mouth
Yeah.
recommendation.
That's very true. And at the end of the day, as you guys are thinking, pray about this, make this such a
Mhm,
clear matter of prayer. I think about with the Hope Restored Marriage Intensives, people would always ask us, now, do you guys organize, groups? Because it's a group of up to 5 couples at a time. And they would always go, man, we're all dealing with the same stuff. Certainly you put us together. And we never do that. I
mm-mm,
mean, Hope Restored is a first come, first serve.
mhm,
And what was so fun is, I led those for years. You and I led those.
mhm,
We would watch how God would just beautifully orchestrate the right
mhm,
people to be in those groups.
mhm,
And so it was nothing that we planned. It was
mhm,
always how God planned, and that gave me such confidence
mhm,
that as you're looking for your counselor to help whatever you guys are going through, that God's in this, and
mhm,
He's a God of restoration. He's fighting for your marriage, and He's going to bring the right counselor
mhm,
in the right time, right? Because
mhm.
even the stuff that happens within our marriage, we're not always ready at the right place to deal with that stuff,
Right.
right?
Yes, it definitely is recognizing that there are times that God knows we're ready to
Right.
go to the next level. I love when I call someone who's inquired about counseling and they say, you know what, your name kept coming up. I heard it at my mom's group, I heard it at church. And then I saw something you wrote, and I just knew that I was supposed to call you. And I love how, because God does that. He'll guide and He'll lead.
Amen. 100%.
And He also knows when you're ready, when your marriage is ready to take that next step.
Yeah. And the other thing that I encourage is, um, you don't only want to do counseling. Like, that's an incredible thing. As you do that, also make sure that you've have some really good, safe, trusted friends that you've shared this with, that you've asked them be a part of our support network.
Hmm.
Pray for us. Ask us how things are going. We have a small group. You may have a small group. Into where you're letting people know that this is the season that we're in, and we need
Hmm.
your prayer and your support, and ask us. And
Hmm.
because we often say that people can survive, a marriage can survive off of someone else's hope for a season.
Hmm.
And so draw in your community and say, boy, we need your help. We're
Hmm.
going for it.
Hmm.
So really be praying for
And
us.
you said a key word there, safe friends.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't have to be lots of people,
No.
just a select few
Yeah.
that you know are safe. They've been that in your life. They've been a safe place. They've been confidential. They've walked with you. You've walked with them. And, so it's going, okay, I know that you are trustworthy
Yeah.
and I'm going to share this with you. And I ask that you keep it confidential. But I need you to pray for me, to pray for us as we enter into this season of marriage counseling.
Yeah. So Aaron and I will go ahead and put links to our counseling referral network here at Focus, as well as a link to Hope Restored. We'll put that in the description below. So be sure to check that out. You probably know someone and they're struggling. Go ahead and share this
Mhm.
video with them and help them get a sense of, okay, we can do this. And here's how we can now reach
Mhm.
out to a counselor. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We have so many other videos. At the end of the day, we want to help your family thrive in Christ.